What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 16 of the Stogie Society podcast. My name is Ugo from Ugo Smokes, and we have Randall of Cigar Scope, and today's guest is Sanj Patel. But before we get into introducing our guest and on with the show, I want to mention two things. As you can see, there's only two panelists here. There's supposed to be five. So a couple of our members had life occurrences, work, family, and so they couldn't make it tonight. So it's just gonna be Randall, myself, and our guest. And I do want to mention one thing. Frank isn't here because he had a recent death in his family. So his grandma passed away. So he's with his family that traveled out of town. So before we get started, I just want to request a moment of silence for our brother and for his grandma, so she may rest in peace. All right, guys. So we got Sanj Patel in the house. Sanj Patel is brand owner of SP 1014, which we all know, and I'm pretty sure everybody in the chat has either smoked one of his cigars or heard about it in the past. But let me pass the mic over to Sanj and let him introduce himself.
Hi guys, this is Oreo
And Oreo.
and me. That's right, Oreo. Go honey, go with mama. What are you doing, guys? How you doing?
All right, Sanj, tell you how's it going?
Good, brother. Can't complain. Working.
Nice. You're still working right now?
No, I'm home. I just got home. I gotta pack bags. Traveling tomorrow.
That's right. You mentioned that you were going to be gone. You weren't going to be on
Yeah,
Friday.
Friday's
Yeah,
live. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, who you are, and what you represent.
Well, most of them know who I am. My name is Sanj Patel. I own a brand called SP 1014 since 1992. And we have a retail shop since 1992 as well. And that's who we are.
Nice, Sanj Patel from SP 1014. By the way, Sanj was graceful enough to send each one of us a sampler of his cigars. I mean, obviously we all have cigars of his, but he included some cigars. I'm going to be smoking the SP Lancero Red, which is my favorite red. What do you
That's
got?
the original Lancero.
Yeah, I got
Okay.
the SP 1014 Silver
Very
in Toro.
nice.
You
Good.
said this.
Very
You
nice.
said you said this is the original Lancero. Um,
Yeah.
okay, no wonder
You
it
see,
looks a
there's
little.
no check marks on it. Right.
Yeah, there isn't any check marks on it. It's just white. It's just yellow.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
look at
Hmm.
that.
and I can tell it's been sitting somewhere for a while because the cello on
See,
it was
look,
tainted.
look. You
Yeah, that's
see? And that's the original band. What you have is the bottom one.
Awesome. Well, no better occasion than the present to smoke this cigar because
with
we
the
got the.
man himself.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
I'm not
Sanj,
gonna smoke anything. Go ahead. I don't smoke in my house, and it's cold as fucking balls outside.
yeah, yeah. I thought you had built a smoking
Yeah,
room.
it's downstairs, but I don't feel like going there.
Mm, okay, that's fair.
At least you have a room. I'm outside right now.
Yeah. So what happened to the other guys? I know what happened, Yuko.
What's that?
Tom Homan. That's what happened. They were hiding.
No, no, no. Two guys had work,
Of course.
and then
You know me. I'm gonna fuck around, right?
yeah, of course. But yeah. So getting back to you, Sanch, to start off with your cigar journey. Why the hell did you come here from India? Why didn't you? I'm kidding. Obviously. So I mean,
Well,
Patel.
I think God intended for me to meet a fucking 3 foot tall Mexican.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, I mean, because when I think of Patel, I think, oh, lawyer, even doctor, rings like a bell, like right
Mhm.
away, right? Well, we got a Patel that's in the cigar industry. How does that come about?
So, I grew up as a kid, right? We had cigar shops and stuff, my family. And, us as Indian, we never worked for anyone else. We always worked for family. And I was actually, this profession is not by choice. It was by, I had no choice, right? So in 80s, I was an assigned model for Benetton. You remember Benetton?
Nah, I was probably like
Okay.
5 years old.
Yeah, so Benetton was at the time, before Polo, before any of these major big companies. Benetton, what they had every nationality, every color of kids, as their model. And I was their assigned model. I worked with Grace Jones. I have worked with Cindy Crawford, Naomi Campbell, so DDA, Eric Milan, and at a very young age, I got into cars. And at one time, I had 9 Corvettes, I had a couple of Ferraris, and I had a near-death car accident in 1987. I wrecked my 1969 Candy Apple Red Corvette doing 140 miles an hour.
Whoo,
And
wow.
I was in coma for 4 days. I had amnesia for 6 months. On paper, I'm completely disabled. So I couldn't do anything. So, in 90s, I'm like, I don't want to take that title as a disabled person. I still refuse to do it. And so I said, why not do this? I said, I knew enough about cigars because I grew up in the industry, right? So I decided to manufacture our own stuff. So in the early 90s, we went to, DR and everywhere, and nobody wanted to make us our cigars. And that's what I met a gentleman named Don Douglas out of Costa Rica. So our original SPs were all made at Costa Rica. So so after Costa Rica, we made cigars. Tony Berhani came to Costa Rica. That was also made at Don Douglas. Dear friend of mine, Steve Sachs, who passed away in early 90s. I made a cigar for him called Esteban Cruz. Uh, then, a few other people came in, but then the taxation changed. So it was very costly for us to do business. So that's when we came to Dominican Republic. So Nixon, who was a friend of mine, was a president and CEO of Don Tomas. You remember Don Tomas Astral Helix? So Don Tomas was making our cigars. And then Don Tomas, 5 years later, they sold it to Thomas Hind of Canada. So even if you look at the Astral Talanga, that was my blend. So we were the first one to use Talanga wrapper, Honduran Talanga wrapper. And if you look at the Astral Talanga, it's a 6.5, 6 by 52 closed foot pigtail. And I wrapped it in a banana leaves to take it home with me. And at the time, their blender, a gentleman named Bent who was their master blender, he fell in love with it. And he said, this is a phenomenal packaging. And they liked the cigar. So I said, you could use it. Back in the day, it was nothing like today,
Yeah,
right? Yeah. So, I said, Ben, you guys could use it, no problem. And then, company ended up, they sold the company. Then I call Jose Blanco. Jose Blanco and I go back 30 years. So I call Jose Blanco and I said, Jose, this is the situation I'm in. And he says, come to us. So I went with, at the time, Guillermo Leon, Leon Jimenez factory. We went to Jose, they were making our cigars. And then, prior to Jose, I contacting Jose, I met a gentleman, who used to make cigars uh, Juan, and I met him out of DR, and great guy. He knew so much about tobacco and stuff, and we were just talking, and he says, we could do something our own. So we opened up a company which we were manufacturing cigars. Our own company was called Don Leon Cigar Company, which is today known as a PDR factory, AIDS factory, where they make PDRs. So that factory, originally, we started that factory. And then when Abe came in, we split. And then I went to Jose, Christian's father, Christian Yora's father, they used to make our cigars. Yeah. So Christian is a good friend of mine. Their father used to make our cigars, right? Fuente in the beginning used to make our cigars out of the original Nicaraguan factory. When Carlito was at my place and on my live, we talked about that, and he remembers, vaguely, but the detail he knew. So, we're in the cigar business. The problem is most people think that we own a retail shop. No, we were manufacturers first. Then we did the retail shop. The building that I'm in, where the smoke shop is, I bought that building on my 19th birthday as a birthday present to myself. And, it was a rental property. We had 3 apartments and a storefront. And out of nowhere, a guy decides, luck would have it. Everything fell right on its place, And then I said, fuck it. If this guy's not going to rent it, I'm going to do my own place. And, that's where we were selling our SPs for him. Back in the day, we didn't have internet. We didn't have online. So everything was done at a shop.
Right.
And, and then late 2008, early 2009, the company that was making, I'm not going to mention name, company that was making cigars, my whole goal always was, construction of cigars and quality of tobacco and the prices. Even when I went to Benton, he asked me, he says, I was a young kid compared to Bent, and he says, son, what are you looking for? And I says, Bent, I'm looking for $15 cigar that I could sell it for $8, and that's what the SP 1014 Red Robusto. And 34 years later, today that same cigar is $8.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
So you
wow.
mentioned that growing up, you were around cigars and tobacco.
Mm-hmm.
How is that? Because you had family that
My
owned other
family had
tobacco
we had the,
shops, or
we yeah we my family had the 2 largest cigar shops in New
right?
Jersey, strictly
Oh,
cigars. So
oh,
as
okay.
I worked in a cigar shops, my family. One was
Ah,
in Bloomfield, was called Wooden Indian Tobacco. Actually, the Indians in my shop, they came from that shop. And the other one we had in Elizabeth was called International Tobacco. So, but we only did strictly cigars, nothing more.
okay. Somebody had a question about your posture, but it's because he was in a car accident in the early '90s.
Right.
So you
Mhm.
have even some aftermarket replacements of like your some body parts, right? Like
Yeah. So yeah.
yeah.
So my half my skull is metal. My
Mhm.
jaw's bionic. My whole left side is artificial. So
Okay.
a
Wow.
lot of issues.
Yeah. I mean, it's I actually
Hmm.
have friends that have been in car wrecks, and
Hmm.
they suffer from a lot of things too. Like one of them is always using
Yeah.
a cane. He's
Hmm.
actually like
Yeah.
walking a
I,
little bit.
I probably fall down 4 or 5 times a week. Just I could be just standing up and just next thing I know, take a step and fall down. Gone.
Are you in
Uh,
pain constantly, or is it like just a balance thing? Or
Well, the pain comes because I'm also naturalist. I'm 58 years old. I don't recall ever taking a Tylenol, aspirin, anything. If it's not prescribed to me, I don't take it. Painkiller, I definitely don't take it. All right. But, last time I recall I took anything, I don't even think I could recall.
mhm.
So, I do everything natural. I deal with pain, because to me, if I know where the pain's coming from, then no sense masking it. It's not
Yeah.
curing it. So my issues are damp weather. It could be sunny. I could tell you, hey, it's going to rain an hour. you know, don't bet with me because it's going to rain. So barometric pressure changes, and I feel pain. But
Ah, okay, makes sense.
I'm so accustomed to it that I don't bother with it. You know.
Yeah, it's become
Yeah.
part of your daily life, I guess, routine, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's like, you go me dealing with you looking at your face every day, and I'm like, why I have to deal with it? But it's okay. Pain is okay.
I think that gives you hope, and that gives you hope and
Yeah.
prosperity
Well.
to keep on doing
Yeah.
good things.
Yeah. Of course. That's our way of life, and that's number one thing for us to do good.
You mentioned this gentleman, Doc Douglas, and you say that he is the one that Don Douglas, Don. Okay,
Yeah.
Don.
Yeah.
Okay,
hmm
because there's still cigars named Don Douglas. Is that the same Don Douglas?
You know what, Hugo? I couldn't answer that question because
Okay.
name is so. He's out of Costa Rica. He's very old now. I don't even think he's making cigars anymore. I think the last time we spoke, he was making the Bahia cigars.
Okay. So he was he pretty much pioneered what is now SP 1014 or the Sanj Patel line of
Yeah.
cigars, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, I've never heard of the gentleman before. I mean, I was born in the '80s, so I was
hmm
still I
Yeah,
was
so
still
that's
calling.
that's 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 one of the things, right? That a lot of people, because of my situation, that I have a retail shop, and a
Yeah.
lot of people think that we're just a cigar shop that came out with the cigar. No, we had manufacturing first, then we had the cigar shop. You know.
Right. Right, exactly.
hmm
I mean, and that's one of the reasons why our intention to bring brand owners to our show is to actually discuss even like the history of like the whole
hmm
cigar lines.
hmm
So because we us here, we're part of a little cliche community where like we just want knowledge. We really want the
Yeah, of
facts, and
course.
we're
Yeah,
really hungry
even
and thirsty for that type of
yeah.
information.
So
Oh yeah.
even yeah, a couple of weeks ago, I think month ago, maybe a little over a month, John Huber was at my live as a guest, right? And we were going old school, and he's like, I didn't even know that. And then I sent him the old school cigars, and he was shocked. He sent me a beautiful letter saying that he if he didn't know me, he would have never experienced that.
Okay. Yeah.
I had cigars that when he was coming up into the business, that he looked up to blenders and stuff, and I had their original cigars, and he was shocked.
Yeah. I mean, you do have a lot of old stuff. You mentioned that you have a lot of old
hmm
original
Yeah.
blends in your collection,
hmm
right? Which is pretty
hmm
cool, man. I mean,
You said Ugo
But
has an original.
yes.
What
yeah.
year is
So
that?
you know what? That's got to no. That's the second one that Chico planted, but that was the original one. That was a very first band. So that's not from '90s. I have '90s
Okay.
cigars that we did that basement pack, and I put in the original SP and from '90s. So actually, I just started a project again that we're going back to. I posted actually a picture a couple of weeks ago that we're going back to Costa Rica because what happened with Costa Rican tobacco, a lot of companies that you see Costa Rican tobacco, just because they use Costa Rican tobacco, they, you know, I mean, look, people do whatever they want to do, right? So, but if you look at Costa Rican tobacco, regular small Robusto, they like 25, 30, 40, $50 MSRP. And we go back to Costa Rica. That's a project for 2026 already started. And I'm going to bring back those original SPs at original price, 8, 9, 10, $12. 100% Costa Rican puro.
Yeah, I mean, we're all familiar with Costa Rican and actually even Peruvian tobacco because a lot of us
Mm-hmm.
smoke selected tobacco products from Nelson
Mm-hmm.
Alfonso, and I'm sure.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm not gonna tell you the I mean who he is, right? You already know. But
Yeah, of
yeah,
course.
I mean, I enjoy. I personally love an Atabay, Connecticut. Not to mention,
Hmm.
Byron and stuff like that. So I mean, I'm pretty sure that and isn't the Costa Rica tobacco the one that has a high tax currently?
Yeah, yeah. But look, no matter what tax, every country has a tax. We pay
Hmm.
100%.
Hmm.
Probably as a retailer and as a manufacturer, I don't think there is any shop that is 100% transparent like ours.
Yeah.
So, we pay all the tax 100%. The deals that you see that we negotiate, I mean, since 1992, our goal was to sell cigars at MSRP. So when I first started retail in 92, there was 0% tobacco tax, right? Then it was 9%. Then it went to 12%. Then it went to 24. Then it went to overnight 48% with the floor tax. So what does that mean? Floor tax is we paid all the inventory that we had. We paid all the 24% tax, and then they said, "Hey, that was Christy Todd Whitman." So it went from 24 to 48. Next thing we know, they passed that law January 1st, January 14th. I had 9 auditors at my shop, taking inventory, and we had to make up that 24% tax. And so that made it to 48% tax, and our prices were still MSRP, right? So if the cigar you see in a half wheel or cigar aficionado, if you see cigar $12, it's $12. I mean, look, Andalusian Bull, is 1890 a cigar. All the Fuente, all the Opus, every single cigar. We don't price gouge on anything. And
And
we're as a manufacturer, we're probably the only company, right, that urges our retail partners not to price gouge in our product.
and that is definitely one of the key uh aspects that your shop has, because a lot of people shop with you guys because you guys honor the MSRP. Currently, there's a lot of I guess you can say unicorns that people are after, and like for example the bull, you know, those
Mhm.
are marked up at least like 150% all the time. You see those over $35. You see what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I
So
personally
we have
don't
it
think.
for 1890.
Mhm.
Last
Well,
last week I posted a boxes. We had 200 boxes of bulls.
right, and those are the ones that you're not selling boxes of. You're splitting them
No,
up
so
with
so
the
yeah.
únicos,
So
right?
you go. What we do, right, is we try the fairest thing to do, and I'm a very fair guy across the board, right? So and people teach you everything, right? It's you learn by your experience. So what happened? People will come up, we put a bulls out. Nobody wants anything from LFD. Oh, I'm a big LFD fan. I'm a big LFD fan. But they're only looking for bulls. And we used to sell. I remember when I first got the bulls, it was $95 a box,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
And people just come and buy that, and you never see them again. And I said, wait a minute. Our customers that come here, 3 times, 4 times a week, they don't even get an opportunity to taste it. So I said, you know what? We changed it across the board. If you're an LFD fan, we made a bunch of packages. Every single cigar you look at is at MSRP. There's a smallest package, 2 bulls and 2 Unico. Unico is 37.50 a cigar. So you get 2 of that and 2 bulls. And it's at, shouldi smoke this.com. Then we did 1 bull, 130th anniversary. One of my favorite LFD is the 25th anniversary. One that KFCT, whatever the fuck that is. But we did 5 cigar samples. Everything is MSRP. We did the same thing with Opus. Look,
Yeah.
Opus Blue, right? I mean, the Opus Society. Everybody's selling for 150. MSRP is $90. That's exactly what we sold it for. We had 25 boxes 3 weeks ago, sold out. Before I even woke up, it was sold. I have 20 boxes more coming next week. I just told Rob today's live. I say, if you want to put it pre-sale, put it. So if the
Yeah.
company don't make us buy anything behind it, then we sell it by itself. But
Yeah.
what most people don't understand, the amount of opus and amount of limited stuff we get from every company, there is a big tag come with that. meaning you have to buy so much other stuff to come with it, right? So now what we do with it, if I sell all the Opus, everybody and their mother wants Opus. Also, we sell it at MSRP, right? The blue Opus 20 at blue, it was like $36 MSRP. That's exactly what we sold it for. The Añejo Shark, it was $17.10. So we don't price gouge on anything, but we don't allow anyone anymore to just say, "Hey, let me take a." Even look, Opus 25th, right? We sold it for $90. Go find
Oh
me
my
a
God.
shop
Yeah.
that sold that for $90, right?
Yeah. That's
So yeah, even Dubai, right? We sold Dubai. We sold Dubai. I think it was like $34, and Dubai Red was I think 34 and $37.
yeah. Can't get those anywhere
So
at that price.
right, but so we're fair. If you claim that hey we're a Fuente fan, guess what? There are different packages to fit every budget, every single cigar. It's at MSRP. There is a 25-count package of Opus, right? On shouldismokethis.com. If you look at just 4 rare Opus, you buy it anywhere else, you're paying for the all 25 cigars.
Absolutely. I mean,
So
Yeah.
and they're all rare cigars in that. You know,
oh,
so
Opus is
our
super overpriced
yeah, yeah, but
everywhere else.
our thing is look, Carlito's a dear friend of mine, Jose Blanco, and I go back 30 plus years, right? And my relation with every manufacturer is phenomenal, and look, we don't do business like we make our own blends, right? So even like SP Red, we had existing blend called Chico. I said, Chico, this is what I need. It took us 3.5 years to remaster that.
Right. Right.
Eladio Black, we had the Black in '90s. It took Eladio almost 2.5 years, 3 years to remaster what we already had, right? So, and then up, then people come up, right? And they don't know anything about us. They're like, hey, how this guy's coming out with this question? Guess what? Number one thing, my goal, the project killed the industry. Anything that comes out of the project kills the industry. It's never going to be more than $10 ever. Look at that gas station sushi. Look at that construction. Every cigar is $5.50. You put that
Five.
Salomon, put it against 30, 40, $50. I don't care. People say, oh, this is Salomon. Look at the FFK, double wrapper, long filler, right? $10 MSRP. So those
Right.
are answers to the industry and say, hey, we're nobody. Listen, I never claim to be anybody, right? We're nobody. Like Carlito says the best. You tell him you're a legend, and he is. He tells you simple answers. No, he said, I'm a humble cigar maker. And and that's who we are. Good people do good things, and we move on. Our thing is also we don't sell our cigars to just anybody and everybody, right?
Yeah. Carlito's
And
a pretty interesting character. But going
yeah,
back to your different cigar lines, we got a question here from Ben, and this is a question that I think is very common for your cigars. Is they're asking about the band was because the new one with the checkered, I mean, looks a lot like the the
that's
Cohiba line.
yeah. This one.
Yeah, exactly, the one you have
So
there.
yeah, so I'm going to take you guys into the history. So I own that. I was always very creative. I'm a very creative guy, right? So most of the artwork and everything you see, it's all my ideas and stuff like that, right? And I like to create stuff. If you look at my home, the way it's decorated inside, it's very different. And a lot of antique with the new stuff. But so in 1984, uh, I had a cigar, which was, I remember I went to Canada. I bought a box of Cohiba. I bought a box of Boulevard. It was $74 a box. And, I came home. I was smoking, selling cigars at the time. Nobody cared. And we had a cigar shop, and people like, hey, and I used to travel because of my job. We used to go all over. And every time I went to Canada, I would pick up a bunch of Cuban cigars. And, you made $30, $40 in a box as a kid. That was a lot of money back in the day.
Wait,
And
did you say you got Cuban cigars in Canada
yeah,
and they
yeah,
weren't super priced overpriced like they
Oh,
are right now?
oh,
$75,
Canada's.
$75 a box.
What
Well,
year?
So this 84, 84, 85.
Oh,
We're
okay.
looking at.
Okay.
Yeah. And nobody cared at the border. We were going there to work because I was, traveling from my job as a kid. They would take us, and we were free to buy. And because my family had a cigar shop, and people always talk about Cuban cigars. And every time I went to Canada, I would buy it. So what happened? One day I tried a Cohiba. Right, my very first cigar was Tiamo Cedro Deluxe. We got so sick. I didn't know how to smoke it. I got ass whooping from my uncle, and then it's like, hey, if you want to learn, sit with me and I'll teach you. So I bought a cigar, and then I remember my niece was uh, a marine doctor. She's got her own kids now, Anyway, but she was young, and she had a memory art. I still have art, somewhere in my basement, and she did a memory art of my cigar band. And I remember my sister calling me up and yelling and screaming at me. She's like, look what you did. What kind of influence you doing that she's doing this tobacco stuff. And I was just there, and I said, I wonder if this design is trademark in US. And I called my buddy attorney, Vince Villardo, God rest his soul. I said, Vince, I have this issue. I want to try it. He goes, look, it's going to cost you back in the day, total fees. It was like, you know, $700, and he charged me $350. And we sent it in, and I forgot all about it. 6 months later, we get a letter from, United States Patent and Trademark Office and saying this is yours. So I'm like,
Wow.
what? So in 1992, we made our first cigar with that band. So where you see SP red and SP 1014 black, so SP was returned in black, was black returned in black, and red was returned on red, right? So that's a band we're bringing out with the Costa Rican SP that we're bringing it back in 2026. We're going to use the same band. Anyway, so he came back. So then in 1996, early 1996, Cuba Tobacco SA took General Cigars to court for name Cohiba. At the time they came out with the Red Dot Cohiba. So that was a Cameroon wrapper cigar at the time for
The Red
US
Dot
first known. And yeah,
Cohiba is General Cigars, not
right.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, General Cigars, yeah. So
Yeah.
they came out with that Red Dot Cohiba. So Cuba Tobacco SA took them to court. So originally they lost. And then they came after us, and we went to Supreme Court. So there is one of the largest international intellectual property law attorneys in New York. It's called Kenyon and Kenyon. Jim Rossini, who's the owner of the firm, is a friend of mine. So when I got the letter, I contacted him, and he said, "Don't worry about it. They can do nothing." So we went to Supreme Court. It's all documented, and we won the case. Because we won the case, they could use the name Cohiba. So I own a lot of Cuban trademarks. I actually own, if I wanted to go after people, all the 60 ring gauges is registered trademark to us. We were the first one. When we made SP 1014, we had a 4.5 by 60 ring gauge cigar. I remember bent arm almost fell off the chair when I told them that size. And at that time, we did a lot of research. So there was three cigars made was a large size. One was a half Jerbon, which was owned by JR Tobacco, Casablanca half Jerbon. Nick Perdomo had an Immenso, which was 70 ring gauge at that time. And Lars Titan had a cigar called Monica that was 70 ring gauge. So nobody at the time had 60 ring gauge. So our first cigar was a 4.5 by 60 ring gauge cigar, SP Red. And we took it off the market, and I don't think that size was very popular at that time, but now 60s are very popular. But I refuse to make 60 ring gauge, because you lose a lot. So I own a lot of Cuban trademark. Now, a lot of times we get questioned, oh, you're knocking off Cubans. No, no, we're not saying anything, nothing about Cubans, but that's the history. So I ask those same people, I see you have issue with my band, but you have no issue with smoking Dominican Romeo and Julieta, Dominican Cohiba, Dominican Upman, none of that stuff, right? Boulevards, Trinidad, nothing. So, it's just the dumbest thing that sometimes people say. They don't even think. But,
Yeah.
it is what it is, right? So if that was a problem, we have our cigars internationally. We have our cigars in Lebanon, Bahrain, Qatar, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, right? And nobody has an issue.
You have
So,
your current cigars, the current marketing branding cigars. You have them in those countries right now, also.
yeah, right now, yeah,
Oh,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. But our distribution is very extremely limited. Even in the US, we get calls every day. People want to open accounts, and we don't have product.
yeah,
We can't.
yeah,
We
yeah,
make limited stuff. We make limited stuff, and I'm not going to whore out my product like everybody else. And
yeah.
I want selected people. I want selected people to have our product. If you don't understand tobacco, I don't want my product in your shop. I'm not being rude, but that's the way it is. If you can't stand behind my product, and if you don't understand what we stand for, then what difference is whether you have it or not?
Yeah. I mean, it's your product. You can be selective, and you can
Yeah.
market
Not
it and
even,
retail it
not,
however you
it,
want.
it sounds rude. It sounds rude, but I'm not. It just, we don't have, right now, we don't have any 754 blacks. India, we're launching India in 3 months. I'm going tomorrow to finalize the packaging and stuff like that. First order we're getting is three sizes. We're getting 120,000 cigars, 40,000 cigars of each, right? 60% cigars are spoken for. I don't even have
Uh,
fucking cigars.
yeah.
You
Eh,
know?
you're like
So,
that
so
guy. You're like the guy that lives paycheck to paycheck, but he already owes like half of his paycheck next paycheck, so he's never out of the hole with
I mean, look,
your.
everything in our shop. You could ask any manufacturer that deal with us, or any distributor. I mean, any brand. Anybody we do business with, we pay everything before it comes into my shop. Everything that right now, front, back, upstairs, downstairs, I have probably $7.5 million in inventory, which is paid. Taxes are paid. Give me one
That's
second. I'll be right back, Hugo.
yeah.
Well, I personally like the 4.5 by 60s and the 4 by 60s. That's like a pretty good size, in my opinion.
That's what the short gordo.
Yeah, the
That's
chode
kind of.
size.
Oh man.
But
Yeah,
it's
I don't
it's a
know.
good it's a good like very tasteful smoke, but like a smaller 35-minute smoke. What's everybody smoking in the comments right now?
Yeah, what's everybody smoking? Are you guys smoking some SPs? By the way, this blend is it tastes I would say quite different than the regular stuff I have with the checkered band. So pretty interesting blend here.
Yeah, he said that was the first band or the second band? The first. So I
Yeah,
wonder when he stopped doing that band and started the second one.
yeah, we'll ask him right now. But see,
Yeah.
it's solid. See,
Yeah, yeah.
let me do the YouTuber hand.
Yeah. Well, you have to block your eyes so it focuses. I mean, this thing's pretty good, man. Honestly.
and and
Peppery,
I
a little bit of chocolate.
and I had a feeling you were gonna like that because I kind of have an idea what your palate likes.
Yeah.
And I right off the bat when I saw that you were gonna smoke that one, I knew you were
Not
gonna love it.
surprised.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah, yeah,
surprised.
not surprised.
Yeah,
I almost did the
definitely.
charisma, and then I was like, I like a little bit more
Yeah,
the thickness, a little bit more. The charisma
the
I think was a 50,
the
right?
charisma for you is no, the charisma is a Corona Gorda, so it's like a 44,
48, 49. Oh,
40.
oh, oh.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I think that one for you is gonna be a great morning cigar. But so
Yeah,
we
yeah.
have a question from Ben. Ben's been pretty active here and with the questions. You can probably kill two of his questions in one. He's saying is Antra being blended and released in other Ritolas? And where'd you get the idea to name your gas station sushi cigar?
So a lot of the names that I name, I'm a look. My personality is I'm always joking around, kidding around, right? But those who know me knows that there's no malice behind anything I say. So actually, we wanted to bring back. We had a cigar called Section Eight. So Section Eight was one of my top selling cigars. We had a run about 22 years with that cigar. Robusto was $3. Total, no, I'm sorry, Robusto was 350. Total was four, and Churchill was 450. And if I get, we used to get a crates of 100. If I get 1,000 crate and I put it on Facebook, let's say I get it on Monday, Friday you couldn't find a single cigar. So about 9 years ago, uh, father and father passed, and then mother passed. It was a small company; they were making it, and then the kids didn't want to continue doing it. So I was after them to do it, and then finally they agreed to do the cigars. But now the same tobacco that we have, we couldn't find it. So I said, "Look, I want to come out with something very budget friendly, but cigar has to be top quality." And they all know those who I work with them. They all know me, and that's where the gas station sushi was born. So I didn't want to call it Section Eight because it's not the same blend, right?
Yeah,
So actually, I had an event with Chas Parmentarin, the actor, with his cigars and stuff, and I took a bunch of samples from people of this cigar, and I couldn't. They said, "What are you going to name it? What are you going to name it?" I said, "I don't know what I'm going to name it." So actually, it was me, Angel, and Kat. We were coming home, and I have addiction with water. I gotta have water all around me. So I said, let's stop at some station. I need water. So we stopped at this gas station. They have those little shops behind the gas stations. So it was on a highway, and we stopped. And as I opened the door, guy had a sticker. It says sushi, and I'm like, I thought sushi was like a high end food, right? So I
hmm,
come back and I ask Angel and Kat, I says, why would they have that sticker? That's it. He goes, yeah, they sell gas station sushi. And I'm like, wow, that sounds great. And I say, is that any good? And she goes, well, it's mass production, and it's just one of those cheap things that people, it's two different things. And I said, oh wow, that's a great concept. We're making a great cigar with the gas station sushi prices. And I said, I told Angel, I said, repeat gas station sushi like 10 times while he was driving. And then I asked same thing to Kat, and I said, "What do you think about that, name?" And he goes, "Man, it sounds good." He said, "What are you thinking?" I said, we just made a name for this cigar that we were smoking, and I said, "This is what we're gonna call it, gas station sushi."
I like it. I like it's got some personality to it.
Yeah,
yes,
and
yes,
then
yes. People,
like our FFK stands for fuckface killer, right? So that was the answer to uh, big companies making perfectos, and they charging 60, 70, $80 for that cigar, and that's I'm like, hey, we could do this. So all the FFK, it's an answer to those who tell us you can make a double, Salomon like that for less than $25. So that's why
right?
we killed it. We called it FFK, Fuckface Killer. We have a cigar called Industry Killer, which is $6, and it's rated number one, number two in every social media platform. Over 30,
Yeah,
40, $50 cigars, and that's our thing.
right. Exactly. So going back to Ben's question, and I think you touched on this on one of your lives. He's asking if you plan on releasing the Antra in a different Vitola.
Yes. So, well, might as well let it be known. So the cigars are already made.
Here we go.
Uh,
Premiere. Is this a premiere here on the Stogie Society podcast? We're gonna
there you
get
go.
breaking
Yeah.
news. Breaking
Let me
news.
set up. Let me set up straight here.
Hold on. Hold on.
so So we are coming out with the Antra regular production, right? But the Antra, the Lancero that we made, that size, we're not going to produce it again. So that's very very particular. The size that I picked for the Antra, we used to make it prior to COVID. Every year we used to make limited amount of Antras, and then donate money to Sitch Foundation, right? And because due to COVID, we had like 5 year break with that, so we didn't make it. So when we came out with it, my favorite all time cigar is the Davidoff Dom Perignon pre-embargo. Size was called Lotias, which was 7 by 43. No domestic company has ever produced size 7 by 43. It's one of the hardest ratio to blend, and Eladio hit it. It took us almost 3 years of making that blend, right? But
Right.
problem with that cigar is today's smokers don't understand that cigar. That cigar is very complex flavors. So a lot of people don't enjoy it because they're used to smoking regular traditional stuff. So anybody who understands tobacco would know what that is all about. So that size we're not coming out with, but so many people want it. So I said, okay. So, we're going to do Saturday. I have a meeting with Hilario. We're going to figure out what sizes we're going to make. But yes, it will come in a, regular production.
Sanj, what's your
Awesome.
favorite Vitola to smoke?
So, I'm sorry.
Oh, just to smoke. What's your favorite Vitola? I noticed you have a lot of Lanceros in your,
Hmm.
cabinet and
So,
everything.
yeah. So my favorite cigar size is Lancero, uh, and then Lancero and Lonsdale is one of my two favorite cigar. Now, somebody asked me, why don't you make every cigar in your profile Lancero and Lonsdale? We don't make cigars just to sell cigars. A lot of companies they will make cigars. More you make, feed the eye. That's what it is. But if our tobacco ratio would not go, like if I made SP Black Lancero, most people wouldn't be able to smoke that because it'll be too strong. So it does not fit our profile. What we looking to create does not work, right? So red and charisma would not work. If you notice something, charisma, we have 5 by 56 ring gauge, and that is my favorite cigar. So on all my cigars, I mean, Lancero overall is my favorite size of cigar, but we also make cigars according to what we're looking to achieve for that particular blend. So if you look at silver, if you look at red, there is Lancero, there is Robusto, and there is Toro, right? If you look at black, there is 550, 554, 654, 754. If you look at silver, there is Robusto, Toro, and Churchill, but these are all traditional sizes. And then the charisma, if you look at, there is a Lonsdale, there is a whatever you want to call it, double Robusto, Gordo, whatever you want to call it, but it's 5 by 56. And then we have 6 by 52 Toro and 7 by 52 Churchill. So I couldn't make Lancero in a silver; it wouldn't taste right, and I couldn't make a Lancero in Charisma. So Charisma, if you smoke Charisma, yeah, 2 years prior to we launched it, we talked about it, and I said that cigar. Uh, Actually, we were talking about it on I think Hound Dog Matt's live. I said that cigar when it comes out is straight out sugarcane, and that's exactly what that sweetness is. When we launched Silver, I told people the notes on it is the malted milkshake. That
Mm,
sweetness.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
and
Yeah. For me,
yeah,
that cigar, the Charisma, it's a
mhm,
very sweet cigar. And out of the that one and then the silver, because my smoking preference is like medium, but like
mhm,
medium, well balanced. So for me, the
yeah,
Charisma is a very well balanced cigar because
mhm,
I I get the sweetness and I get the enough spice to keep me like
right.
entertained. Like, oh
Well,
yeah, I'm getting spice,
that's
especially like
that's that's even our another thing, right? Like our RS88 lines, right? It's $7, close foot, triple cap. You can find 20, 25, $30 cigar with triple cap, right? So when you look at triple cap, you as a consumer should tell you, hey, these guys took a lot of their time, means business, right? And it's seven
yeah,
dollars. If you look at the firmness, a cigar should feel firm, right? Should have not any give. So if you look at all our cigars, it's well packed. Numerous time I have cut open our cigars. There is no other cigars made that way, right? And the price point. Now, I just introduced 3 weeks ago, maybe a little over 3 weeks ago, RS88 broadleaf, which is 100% pure broadleaf, uncooked. Also, none of my stuff is tainted with anything. That's why if you look at color, is different. All 25 cigar has a different color. Mother
Yeah,
Nature does, never does anything uniform. So,
that's
a
right.
lot of times companies use tea. A lot of times companies use coffee, red wine. We have seen companies use to make the tobacco lighter actually bleach.
Oh
So
man,
we
that
don't.
doesn't sound good.
Yeah, well, but that's the reality of it.
And then the industry, I feel that the industry is it's a business, like just like any other
Well, of
business.
course, of
So
course, of course, of course.
obviously, like why would you have a business if you're not in it to make money? If you're not making money,
Well,
then probably
here's the thing. You go. My thing is very different, right? So you could make money, but then there is a thin line: making money and being greedy.
yeah, exactly. That's
So
another
so
thing.
that's a thin line. Now here's the thing. Today on our live we were talking about it, right? If you see what was that? Nicaragua is subjecting to 20% tax, which is tariff tax. They call it. Americans know as a tariff, right? But if you look at 20% at Nicaraguan money, it's nothing compared to dollar. It's
Yeah.
pennies.
Okay.
But
The conversion rate.
manufacturers, right? What manufacturers going to do? They're going to raise dollar 50, $2. We're going to give them an opportunity to raise it. I always said it. If you look, every cigar, there is a cigar. Every cigar. Manufacturers put a manufacturing price. If somebody's charging you, if something's rare, somebody's charging you, you know, $2 more, $3 more. Okay. But when somebody's quadrupling the price, then you
Yeah.
don't need to buy. And at that point, you're the
Yeah.
problem as a consumer. I tell
Yeah.
people all the time, if any of my retailers is selling my cigars at high price, please don't support that shop.
Yeah.
Actually, let us know. There was a
Yeah.
shop in New York. Two of our customers called us up in the beginning. It's like, hey, this guy's price gouging because we also give our retail partner a 25-mile radius. So if you have our cigar, no one in 25 miles could get our product because we protect our retailers, which no other manufacturer does it, right? If you want any manufacturer, you have a shop here, mile mile from you, further down, they have a shop. They're going to give them the product. They don't care. We operate very differently. If you have a retail partner, we are not going to. We're going to protect you. My job is to protect you first, and your job is to protect the consumer, right?
Yeah.
So my manufacturing and my distributing side, my retail partners are my number one priority. My retail shop is my consumer is my number one priority. Now, problem is, listen, if you get out of your street and you see a drug dealer selling dope, you buy the dope. We all know that's a scumbag for doing that.
Yeah.
But what
Yeah.
is your excuse? So if you pay and you complain, I don't want to hear it. If you
So
stop
yeah.
supporting, if
Yeah.
you
No.
stop supporting people that robbing you, yeah, look, today, the entire world is in palm of your hand. Google
Yeah.
that cigar. Google the price. If the
Oh,
MSRP is $20 and guy wants 22, 23, okay, fine, no big deal, right? But if the guy
yeah.
says, hey, I want 40, 45, $50 for that cigar because it's rare, then don't support him.
Yeah. And one way around that, Sanj, because obviously we have our circle of friends or whatever. I'm in California, so a lot of the good cigars, they're kind of hard for me to get if they're not available online, or if
Yeah.
the people that have them for MSRP online sell out. So what we've been doing is people that live in other states that have well stocked B&Ms. They've been kind
Hmm.
enough to actually buy the
Yeah.
cigars for us and send them out, and
Yeah.
that's a way around the price
But
gouging.
but
You know,
but in California, they have 75% tax. So if the cigar, let's say generally speaking, cigar MSRP, right, is $10.
yeah,
Hmm.
In California, that cigar should be 13.75, and that is still considered MSRP. and that is with a healthy profit
Yeah.
because you're not paying the 75% tax on the reseller. You're paying it at the market price. So, for example, $10 MSRP cigar normally costs them five, and you got to pay 75% tax, right? So add
Yeah.
$3.75 on it, $4, and then do the $5 on cost. That cigar you could sell it in California for $14, and it's still considered MSRP, but it's not $26. That's my
Right.
problem. That's what I'm
Yeah.
trying
Yeah.
to tell you.
No, but
Yeah.
then
It's
You
just a
have
not
lot.
only not only that, but like they're marked up. For example, I've seen some shops, the Padron 60th. The MSRP on that is what, $70, right? $70 is what
uh,
they should be selling
yeah,
it.
we sold them for, yeah, I think it was $70. Yeah.
Okay. You know how much they cost here in California for me, a Padron 60th? $105.
Yeah, well, hey.
So that's tax plus markup,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that's not fair for, consumer
yeah,
here.
yeah,
So
yeah.
what I've been doing is, if I really want to get a cigar, like, hey, Randall, your B&M has them. Can you get me two, or get, and and I'll send you the money, and we get around
Uh-huh.
that because it's not fair for the
Yeah,
consumer,
yeah,
like you said. It's
Yeah.
it's totally unfair.
yeah,
What is it? Utah
yeah.
or Oregon that has the best taxes or something like that? It's one of those. Utah, Oregon has like a very low tax on tobacco.
Yeah, but look, MSRP is MSRP. New Jersey,
Yeah.
have 30% tax. There is not a single cigar penny more than MSRP at my shop. I don't care how hot the cigar is. We
Yeah.
absorb
No.
the 30% tax.
Yeah. No. And we've seen it. I mean, we've seen. Trust me, we've seen the pricing that you have, and it is all MSRP, and and that's one thing, like I mentioned earlier, that's one thing that a lot of people really do appreciate, and I think that's what drives your sales too, for people that actually
Yeah,
know
and
the
yeah,
cigar
and
industry.
also yeah, also what we do is we negotiate, prices. We negotiate. Look, blood medicine, right? The Belgian Blue, Legato number 6. They make 1,000 boxes. I take 50% of their inventory, and I negotiate the prices. And I say, hey, we're going to do this for the consumer. Companies give it,
Yeah.
we don't keep it. We pass it to consumer. Right now, you look at all the blood medicine is, I think, 15% off. Plus, you get 4 free cigars.
Right.
MSRP 15% off MS. Look, Dale Istanbul. The other day, I got, I think, 375 boxes. We got, right,
you got
125 each.
you got a lot of the
Nobody's got that
fucking
cigar.
fire cured.
Yeah, but listen, when I had a meeting with Dale, I says, I need to get these cigars in the U.S., right? And
Right.
he goes, well, we don't sell this. And I said, I don't want to hear it. I says, what we need
Yeah.
to do this. And I said, not only that, but you're going to give me a discount because I'm buying that kind. Money was there before they even shipped the product. They gave us 20% off. I passed that 20% to my consumer.
Yeah.
So Dale is something is extremely rare. You can't find it in US. Phenomenal cigar, right? And it's 20% off.
Dale is
MSRP.
Luciano Dale
It,
project, right?
no, no, that's he's just distributing it, but the cigar is out of Salih Dale out of uh,
Istanbul, Turkey.
Germany.
Oh,
Yeah, no,
Germany.
Germany.
Okay. No, the Istanbul is
So
what
they
they use on the band, right? The portrait.
Yeah, Istanbul is a band. There's I mean that cigar is phenomenal. I mean the amount of tobacco, different tobacco they have, I call it, fucking mofongo of cigar because phenomenal tobacco they use, phenomenal
Um,
flavor profile, right?
yeah.
And it's a great stuff.
Well,
Listen,
I mean,
if you go on my social media page, I very seldom write something. I just post what I post. But Dale, I says 2025 box worthy cigar.
and that's one of the topics that I actually wanted to bring up because, I personally I smoked I only smoked one Dale. Somebody gifted it to me because like you said, it was a very limited availability here in the US.
Yes.
And
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
the person that got it, I forget where he got it from, but a lot of the guys, they didn't like that cigar because they were getting a lot of floral notes on it, which it does have a lot of floral notes. I personally like
Yeah.
floral notes, but
Well,
uh, and it was that I think
I
it
don't.
that Kentucky Fire Cure mixture with the other that gave it that kind of like personality, right?
It's a dry. Yeah, it's a air cured
Right.
tobacco.
Hmm.
So you have to understand that tobacco. When you go tobacco, right, in eastern side of the world, like BD's Indian tobacco, you can make cigars out of that. India is one of the largest producer of tobacco in the world, but their tobaccos go for medicine. Their tobacco go for chewing tobacco. Their
Yeah.
tobacco go for snuff. They make a lot of snuff. So that tobacco, but the flavor that they have on those cigars are extremely unique. Cigar
Very
like that,
unique.
you just can't puff. Yeah, you can't just puff. You actually really need to enjoy that cigar. You know
Yeah.
that Principe, which is I think 4.5 inch. That cigar should last you minimum 45 minutes to a 50 minute, and then you enjoying it. You have to let the oils come out. It has a Pennsylvania broadleaf on it, right? It has a Turkish tobacco, and it has a fire cured tobacco. I mean, air cured tobacco. So it's a very unique cigar. Very
Yeah.
unique
I
cigar. I
agree
happen
that
to
that
enjoy it.
I totally agree that that cigar you should definitely smoke very slow, because or else you get overwhelmed with the different bouquet that it
Yeah,
offers you. It does.
yeah,
It's a
yeah.
very floral thing. But
Hmm.
here's a question from the guest. It's a pretty easy question, and he also, I think we kind of answered his previous question, which was asking if the Antra was going to be a regular production, and you said yes, you're working on a Vitola, and he's asking where the 1014 comes from.
So again, to name it's like names on a cars. They're meaningless, right? So our thing was, when we made the SP first, we didn't know what to get call it. So again, my niece, she says, Uncle Sanj, why don't you just call it SP 1014? Sanj Patel, October 14th is my birthday, and that's how the SP 1014 started.
That's right. It's Sancho's birthday, so October 14th,
Yeah,
Sancho's birthday, and he
yeah.
has a obviously people that follow you, and for the people that don't follow your weekly podcast, he puts together a package, a variety sampler for different people's birthdays. So whoever's birthday lands on whatever month he has them pick
Hmm.
a sampler pack, and he sells it at MSRP. Obviously, October
Yeah.
is Sanchez's birthday, so he has the Sanj birthday pack.
Hey, Sanj.
So
I
October,
know.
yes.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
So what we do for my October month, total sales since 1992. Whatever we sell, either online or in shop, we do tons and tons of special, and the entire month money we donate it to charity.
Wow,
Nice, yeah,
that's
yeah.
really good.
That's another
That's
another.
all. So yeah, so since 1992, veterans. I'm big with veterans and children's charity. I always say, as a manufacturer, no one donates more than Carlito Fuente, and as a retailer, no one does more for community and people than us. So since 1992, we give out two free cigars to veterans every
Right,
Memorial Day and Veterans Day. Now,
awesome.
entire month of December, first responders and veterans, they come into our shop and they pay exactly what we pay. We don't make money on them. Also, pretty soon, it took me almost 4.5 years. We spent almost $30,000 on legal fee. But online at shouldismokethis.com, I think it should be on within 2 weeks. Uh, we're running trials right now. You put your order, and if you're a veteran, it'll have a big flashing veteran or first responder. You click there, your entire order gets shifted to the other page, and then there is a ID me, verify me. You put all your
Yeah,
information. Once it's verified, you pay everything what we pay on every
that
single cigar in the shop.
that's the new military portal that you're working
Yes.
on, right? Okay.
Yeah. But it's so much glitches and so much, and then all states, all 50 states have different rules and regulations. So that's what a lot of this money that we spend for legal fees to make it right. And finally, my dreams coming true. And I think that would be one of my happiest moment when that day comes. Because
Right.
my beliefs is, look, our veterans shouldn't have to worry about any of that. And I mean, we sell everything at MSRP, but I think, veterans and first responders deserve much as we can. And I wish more retailers did stuff like that, and more manufacturers did stuff like that.
That would be
And
awesome. That would be awesome.
Yeah, that would
But
be
yeah,
cool.
we do. Yeah, yeah.
Sosa is asking.
Actually, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
Sosa
The the
has a
con
question here. He's saying, what's the best humidity level for long-term storage of cigars?
I
The
don't
best
believe in
humidity.
humidity. I don't own humidor and I don't own cutters. I don't believe in humidity. If you look at my private collection, I have close to $3 million worth of rare cigars. They have never seen humidity. On my live, I have opened up 20-year, 30-year-old boxes, smoke perfect. Humidity is a problem.
So you're talking about humidity devices, right? You're talking about, you don't believe like
Yeah.
in Bovita
Mhm.
packs or like humidifiers, but
No, no.
he's saying like if you're monitoring your cigar storage, because there's a the humidity gauges. So what do you think
Mhm.
would be an ideal humidity? Because there's natural humidity in the environment. So I think he's asking
Well, see the problem. Well, for me, you should first of all, if you want to, enjoy cigars, take that fucking hygrometer and throw it in the garbage. Okay.
okay.
Longest that if you wherever you store your cigar, if there is no drastic change in temperature and humidity, you're
Right.
gonna be fine. So if
So
you keep it in a living room, daytime you have 80 degrees in the house, nighttime you have 40 degrees. That's a problem
yeah, exactly. So to
because
answer that
cigars
question, I
gonna
think keep it at a constant humidity and temperature,
yeah
whatever you want, but
yeah
constant.
that's
Don't
it
don't don't change it.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because for example, me, I have electric humidors because I live in California. It gets hot, but I don't run the AC when I'm not here. So all my cigars, I don't put Bovito packs in my fridge in my refrigerator, cigar refrigerators, but they're always at a constant temperature. That's it. And I can
Hmm.
all I need to do is if it's 70 degrees outside and my cigars are at 62 degrees temperature, I just let it acclimate a little bit and then I smoke it and it smokes fine.
Hmm. Hmm.
I don't know if this is the real question. It says, is it Jimmy's or Sprinkles? What? uh, saying Sprinkles, John. Oh
So
man.
Sanj, what's a vitola for a certain one of your cigars that it just didn't work? Because you have a couple of lines. What is like for example the SP Black, or I'm pretty sure you smoke like all your cigars and probably different vitolas. What is one that you were just like this won't work?
So, like I said, in the black Lancero didn't work for us. So when we produce cigars, we make basically all the sizes, and then we
Hmm.
just minus that out. You know.
Yeah.
So all the sizes that we put out to public, they all approved by me, Eladio, Chico. So we don't put something in the market and then it don't work and we take it out. No, it doesn't work that way. And we also produce, look, I have the two top guys in the industry. Chico, I don't think there is anyone in this industry who knows more than Chico as far as the fermentation goes. And Eladio Diaz is a living legend, God, and that's all there's to it. I mean, these are the people, and I also, a lot of times people ask me, why don't you work with this guy? Why don't you work with that guy? Why don't you work with this guy? Our thing is, if you don't have same ethics, morals, and principle as us, I don't need to make cigars.
Yeah. Yeah.
People,
Just keep it.
people, people misuse. People misuse their name. If you see anything that Eladio has made, right? You see 30, 40, $50 MSRP prices. And ours is
Mhm.
still same since 1992, 9, 10, 11, and $12 with the seven tobacco, you know?
And that's pretty
Davidoff,
impressive. I mean,
Davidoff,
this is the
Davidoff,
first cigar.
Davidoff, Davidoff,
Yeah, yeah,
Davidoff Oro, Davidoff Oro has a seven tobacco. There is no other type of cigar with seven tobacco blend.
yeah.
You know, look at our SPs. It's a Dominican Corojo Puro with a 5-year-old wrapper. Every single cigar, if you buy a box, put it on a digital gauge. You know, all our cigars weigh, identical. We weigh our cigars 5 times before we pack it. So the amount of care and the amount of stuff that we do, and there is no one in this industry doing that. No
Yeah,
one. Our
I see.
cigars since 1992, if you look at the old boxes of SPs, every box had a guarantee. What was a guarantee for? Plugs, bad construction, and if you couldn't smoke our cigars, bring it back with no questions. That even today, that warranty goes with the SP red and black. And if you look at both of you smoke, you saw the ashes. Even I smoke live gas station sushi ashes this big. That's the construction. Has
That's
nothing to
good.
do with anything else. It's the amount of tobacco that we get, and it's something very unique we're gonna do with India that we're not calling them sizes because if you look at the FDA law rules, right? So let me ask you a simple question. If you were to buy a pound of potato, 16 ounces, and let's say it's dollar per pound, and the guy puts it and gives it to you 14 ounces and says this is pound, would you accept that?
I mean, you shouldn't, but
No, I'm asking you. If every time you buy a pound of tobacco and you pay, I mean, pound of potatoes, and pound of potatoes dollar, 16 ounces for dollar, and every time he cheats you and say,
yeah,
hey,
no,
here this is 16 ounces, but it's 14 ounces, would you accept that? Maybe
of
once
course,
or twice, but if it's routine, would you accept it?
yeah, of course not, because then that's he's making those extra whatever cents off of you. So and you're getting cheated off of. You're not getting the full amount that you're paying for. So no,
So why are you expecting? Why are you accepting cigars? Tobacco
you know,
sold as commodity. There is a
right,
FDA rule that certain size have to have certain weight of tobacco.
right, right. And again,
So why are you accepting those cigars?
right,
Answer
and
that
that's
question, Yoko.
well, that's we don't know. We don't weigh it before. Like, if you buy it online, the cigar already comes like that. So it's not like I'm gonna be like, oh, let me
But,
return
but,
these fucking cigars.
but,
But
again,
I get where you're
it
coming
has
from.
nothing. It has nothing to do with retailer. It has everything to do with manufacturers.
Hmm.
So what we do is something very unique on SP India that no one. Everything for us is to prove a point.
Yeah.
Anything that we do is to prove a point, right? The gas station sushi, $5.50, 7.5 by 38 Lancero for 550. Go find me same construction, 50% better than that cigar. You'll never happen for that price. Never happen, right? Salomon. People say, oh, Salomon because Salomon's expensive because it takes time. We made a Salomon, $5.50. Go look at the construction on that. Don't be afraid to squeeze it. Look at it,
Hmm.
right? So our thing is our goal is to educate people. When we call the project kill the industry, we don't care what other people do. It's just
Right.
a name and that's all is to it, right? We don't want to hurt anybody. We're not knocking anybody's cigar. You do what you do and that's up to you, right? You got to answer to the God, not me. But what we do is something very unique. It's never been done before. No industry, no one in this industry has ever done it. We're the first one going to do it, and we actually calling the sizes at your weight. Like
Okay.
Salomon will be 20. It's not called Salomon. It's going to call 28 grams, 18 grams, 19 grams, whatever the final weight we decide to go with it. That's the gram's going to be called. The size is
All
going
right,
to be actual gram of the cigar.
that's pretty interesting.
Pretty
Uh,
interesting, yeah.
I don't know if this is something that you touched on, but Ben's asking, can you please reiterate what you mean when you describe that cigars do not change flavor profile during aging? So,
Say that again.
so he's saying that what do you mean when you describe that cigars do not change flavor profiles during aging? So, meaning that if I smoke a cigar right now and I store it for 5 years, the profile should not be different. It should be the same. Is that something? I'm not sure if that's something that
Uh,
you.
yeah. So I think he misunderstood what I said. I mean, he must have heard it on my other live or something. So the rule number one: the day a cigar comes to your hand as a consumer, all the aging that needs to be done is achieved. The dead leaf is dead at that point. Now, what happens? People say, "Oh, I bought a cigar. I didn't like it. It's young. Is this? Is that? Let me put it in. 3 months, 6 months, 8 months in the humidor." So what happens at that point? 85% is psychological, because you took that cigar and you stored it for 6 months, 3 months, 5 months, year, 5 year, whatever time you did. Automatically, it's going to take, you're going to say, man, this tastes better. Now, what happens at that point? You have other cigars. Contamination takes place. So cigars are like,
Sponges?
sponges. They'll absorb
Yeah,
everything, right? So, it changes the flavor, but it didn't change. It caused contamination. Now, if you look at, whoever this person is, if you ever come to our place, and then I could open up 30-year-old box, brand new box, give it to you. There's no yellow cello, there's nothing, right? Because there's nothing tainted into some of this cigar. And then you smoke it. Smokes perfect, never seen humidity, but it's in its own boxes. When you put into humidors, you have cedar. You already contaminated your cigars, right?
yeah,
Especially if you keep it open. So, also the environment you keep in, right, contaminates it. Most people use tap water in their humidification. If they do use humidification, that contaminates it. So contamination takes place. So cigar never changes. And, by the time, our rule is, when I release a cigar, that's my final product. It's up to you whether you like it or not. That's your personal stuff. But I
awesome.
hate when people say, "Oh man, this cigar's young, this cigar's that." Well, first of all, you don't know enough to even determine to call that shot and say, "Hey, this cigar's young." Whatever that person did, it's like, I used to tell, when I used to do Corvettes and Ferraris, people say, "Oh, why don't you tint the window? Why don't you put this wheel?" And my answer to them was, Ferrari Farina has one of the best designing team. If they felt that this car needs tinting, they would have did it at factory level. So I don't like to change anything that they meant for it. Anybody who produces stuff, they know at that they're capable of doing. Say, hey, this is exactly what we want to give our audience, and that's what they're gonna do. And
Right.
that's my theory. That's the way we believe in it. My look, I always tell people, and you got into a lot of my lives, my guarantee is my construction quality of tobacco. That is my guarantee. Your profile, your palate is not my guarantee. Something
Right.
spicy for somebody else may not be spicy for someone else. So, flavor and taste is very subjective.
Yeah, it's very subjective. Exactly. So people will interpret a cigar profile a
Hmm.
certain way than others, which in reality,
Hmm.
the cigar profile, it does matter because obviously we're attracted to certain uh scents and certain flavors, right? But
But
overall, for
but
me, even like construction is like a key for me because if a cigar doesn't burn well, if it's plugged, if it just doesn't burn the way I want it, that's also something that I look at on a cigar. You see what I'm saying? Um,
Well,
so
Oh yeah,
you
absolutely.
go the way you want it to burn, and this and that. That also could, change the way you keep cigars. Now, I remember when you did the Antra review, You said, oh, I get blueberries, right? Hound dog got blueberries. You say
Yeah,
you didn't taste it, but what I taste is not what you're gonna taste. So, at that point, if somebody, this is me. Look, the
yeah,
charisma to me, 2.5 years ago, before we even launched the cigar, 2 years prior to it, I said this is straight out sugarcane. I said that.
yeah, yeah.
If you look at the Antra, year before we released that cigar, I said this is straight out blueberries, right? The silver, I says malted milkshake.
Right.
So, we already know the profile, but I don't expect you or anyone else to get what I'm getting because my
Exactly.
palate is different than yours. Hmm.
Totally. Yeah, yeah. No, no. And yeah, like I said, the charisma for me, it was a sweet cigar.
Hmm.
I don't think I described it as sugarcane, but for me it was like a sweet hay, which
Yeah, yeah.
that's what
Uh-huh.
specific note is what came to my mind right away. It's like a sweet hay,
Yeah.
you know.
Hmm.
It's for somebody else it could be like, sweet bready note, I don't know.
Yes, yes,
um
yes. Of course, of course.
but to summarize, I was satisfied with the construction of that cigar. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I enjoyed the flavor profile, and I enjoyed the construction on it as well. So
Hmm.
that's what I look at. If I enjoy the flavor profile,
Hmm.
whatever I describe is gonna be subjective. It's gonna be my interpretation, and people shouldn't
Hmm.
it shouldn't be written in stone,
Hmm.
is what I'm trying to say. So, but
Yeah, yeah, of
yeah.
course.
So going back to the cigar industry, what the what kind of obstacles have you came across? I mean, I know it's hard to own a business and more like a tobacco business. So, is there something that you can share with us that that kind of like made you think twice about keeping the cigar business, and you almost wanted to quit or something like that?
Right hand to God, January 7th, 1992 to today, there has never been a day I says, fuck, I gotta go to work. Two reasons. Number one, I only did what I wanted to do. Number two, I don't care what somebody else thinks about it. So to me,
Yeah,
I don't let that bother me. So I enjoy. I think this is the best thing that I have done. If the accident did not happen, things could have been different. But uh, what I'm doing, I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world.
yeah. So you basically love what you do. You enjoy it.
Yeah, issues come in, with people is, they listen to other people. My advice to anyone, if you feel like doing it, your heart tells you, do it.
Yeah,
But don't try to be the turtle. Don't try to be rabbit of the race. Be the turtle. Slow and steady, consistency, and honestly. Integrity means everything to me. I have three issues I tell people all the time: morals, ethics, and principle.
yeah, exactly. You have to keep that because
Yeah,
you're running a
yeah, I know.
business,
And
and
yeah, absolutely. Listen, there are caviars, right? But I'm vegetarian. It's expensive. What the fuck does that mean to me? Nothing, right? So,
yeah,
and again, my answer is very simple to people. People say, oh, we don't like your product. That's fine. Hey, not everything's made for everyone.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And so, is there anything that you have learned, like a lesson that you were like, oh man, like somebody made you see like out of the box, or that somebody shined some light on you, or like advice that somebody gave you, like during your uh time as a business owner?
The biggest lie of cigar industry is, and I have said this numerous times, and a lot of blogs, a lot of, I've been over as a guest. I've been invited over I must have done over 1,500 lives, blogs, whatever you want to call it as a guest. And my answer is always one answer is consistent. In this industry, when you hear this is family, this is one big family, that is the biggest fucking lie there is.
Oh
Biggest lie of
man.
the industry. This is a family. No manufacturers, no brand owners, no one gives two fucks about what you're doing. Long as you support them, everything's good. The day you don't support them, you're nobody. Remember that.
Yeah.
The biggest lie of this industry, hey, we all, this is a brotherhood, sisterhood, no. That's the biggest lie. I have seen it.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm in a business 34 years. I have dealt with, there is not a single person that I cannot get up tomorrow morning and pick up a phone and say, hey, I want you to, let's work together. I want to make a cigar. And they will say no. But biggest lie in this business is the word, oh, we are all family.
Yeah. I know.
Biggest lie.
And like I mentioned before, it's a business. You're running a business, so you have to look out
Listen,
for your business, whichever way it is
well,
it if it's ethical or unethical,
whatever.
you're gonna look after your business, right?
No,
It's your
no.
baby. That's what
Well,
puts
listen, it's
food.
ethical. You can't be unethical. You can never be unethical. If you're
you
unethical,
shouldn't
you don't
you
belong in
shouldn't
any
be
business.
unethical. You shouldn't be unethical,
Right.
but there's people that are unethical.
Well,
Yeah, absolutely.
that's okay. That's
Yeah, I
okay. I
mean,
mean, that's them. They gotta answer. They gotta answer to the man. But then again, you have to understand something. You know, I don't understand why God. I always tell. I always wonder about. My brain, my mind works very different, right? I always ask one question. There is no one on this earth is sin free. Why God created heaven? Who's going there? Everyone has something,
yeah. I
right?
don't know. I
So
I, I
it's
I'm not religious. I'm not religious. I
no,
just
that's
believe in
okay.
in
That's okay.
in good. I just believe in good or bad,
Yeah, but I'm
and
just
and
saying.
karma,
Yeah,
and
yeah, exactly.
you know,
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And I tell
for
people all
me,
the time, God may forgive you. Karma's a motherfucker.
for me, I always say, this is a life I have, and enjoy it, because that's
Yeah.
for in my opinion, this
Mm-hmm.
is all I'm getting. After when they put me in that hole, or they burn
Yeah.
me, that's it. I'm gone, man. I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't.
yeah, yeah.
If I
Same
if I
here.
get
Yeah,
if I
same
get
here.
something if I get something after that, then that's a plus for me. But but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
to
But who
to
the
answer
fuck
this,
would want to see you? Nobody want to see you now, Hugo. Who the fuck want to see you after that?
hey Sanj, this guy's in Arizona, and he's saying I'm gonna run a test because I really like the Antra, but I smoke it at 60%. So I don't know. He's asking for someone in Arizona
Arizona
with
is a
baby.
very humid place. Yeah, yeah. Arizona is very humid place. So yeah, you could just leave it outside in a cool, dry spot if you have it, and smoke it.
Okay.
Look, this is a good challenge. There was a podcast I was on, a lot of people on it, and humidity issue came up, and I told them, I said, take two of your favorite cigar. What it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be ours. Any two favorite cigar that you've been smoking, like your go-to, right? So take one, put it outside your humidor. Wait exactly 1 week. Don't move that cigar, no matter where you put it. Don't move that cigar, right? And then week
Right.
from that day, get one from your humidor, and that outside one, light them both side by side, smoke them. You're going to see the significant flavor change. And they all agreed. They all tried it.
Okay.
Actually,
That's a
actually,
good experiment.
if I'm not mistaken, in the very beginning, what's his name? Jimmy from Pig Jim. He
Pick
did
Jimmy.
that
Yeah.
experiment. He left the cigar in a garage SP for over a week, and he couldn't believe it.
Oh wow. Okay. Did he publish that one, or did he? I didn't see that video.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
You know.
Cool. Yeah. So this is the last question we're gonna take, and It's a good closing point here. He's asking, what 2025 releases are you looking for the most? I'm not sure if he's asking about your cigar brand or in
Yeah,
general,
find
but
out, find out, find out,
I mean, just let's just say
find
for
out.
you, because I mean, I'm pretty
Well,
sure you don't care about
for
any
us,
other.
yeah, for us, SP India and SP Red Maduro. Those are the two cigars we're planning to launch
Mm.
this year. SP Red
The
Maduro.
SP Red Maduro. Okay, yeah, I smoked the India, but it was a wet pack that you sent me, right? So it was like one of the,
Yeah.
yeah. So I need to that cigar. So I was kind of like hesitant because I knew it was a wet pack, so it smoked fine halfways, and I can say that it's a very unique profile. I got, you know, I
Mm-hmm.
interpreted a lot of spices, some of which were like kind of like foreign to
Mm-hmm.
me, but then I think
Yeah.
it was just too wet
Well,
at the
that's
end, so it just kept on going out. But I need to, one of your
yeah,
regular
yeah, yeah,
production ones. I'll revisit it at some point. But
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, I
So
I
the
enjoyed
so
it.
the SP yeah SP India tobacco that we use is a lot of unique tobacco. Also, the Salomon that we're making, it's completely hand mashed. Last time somebody made a complete hand mashed Salomon was like 44 years ago. So if you look at the Salomons, they're all going to have different size. Similar, but you visually you see it, and it's different sizes. Because it's completely hand mashed, and the
Yeah.
price point at that cigar is 13, 14, and $15. Wrapper is from 2006, January 1st, 2006.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so those are the two releases that are coming up: is SP India and the RS88 Maduro. So keep
Yeah,
an eye out for
and
that.
then the gas station sushi
Mhm.
Maduro.
Oh, that one's coming out too, because now you have just the natural, or whatever you want to call. What do you
Habano.
call it? Habano,
Habano.
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 Okay, all
So
right.
right now we just tried a bunch of sizes. Lancero in the gas station sushi was strictly Lancero in Lonsdale was strictly made for me. And when we got it, I smoked it on a 2 weeks ago on a 2 weeks ago Friday's live, and everybody and their mother wanted it. And I'm like, Rob's like, listen, we got a lot of calls. I say, fuck it, sell it. Lancero, Lonsdale,
Yeah,
and Churchill was sold out. 1,500 boxes were sold out less than 3 days.
that's awesome.
So,
Nice.
so now we broke it down to four standard size, which is going to be Lancero, Toro, Churchill, and Salomon. They're all
Okay.
550 a cigar,
All right.
any size.
That's one that we need to try still. So in the future we're gonna smoke that one. But thank you,
Didn't
Sanj,
send
for
you any? Didn't
no
send
that
you any?
no freaking Rob messed up my order, bro. I need to go punch him. But
All
that's
right.
fine. I'll just buy a pack for myself and I'll give it to the guys. So but
No,
yeah,
no, no,
so
no,
thank
no.
you.
Just I'm coming back. Listen to me. You go.
Yeah.
Mierda. Listen. Monday, I'm gonna come back. My schedule is very busy. If you send me message, I'm most likely I don't even remember it.
Yeah.
So Monday, I'm gonna be back about 12 my time. Call me. Call me. You have my number, and just remind me. And then I'm gonna send you the SP India hoodie, and I'll send you a bunch of gas station sushi so you could give it out to the guys.
Awesome. Thank you, Sanj. Yeah. So
Right? How many viewers
appreciate
you
that.
got today?
How many
How
what?
many viewers you got today?
I think we were
How
up
many
to like
guys?
30 viewers. We were like up to like 35 today.
No, no,
35
just
viewers.
okay.
Or
So I
what?
tell you
Oh,
what.
there's five of us. There's supposed to be five of us here, but
No, no, no. The viewer.
oh yeah,
Total
there was about
viewers. How many you got?
35 viewers.
All right. Pick 1 to 35 number. Pick any number.
14.
Okay. The 14th viewer. Figure out who that is, and
Like
let me
comment?
know. We're gonna give them. Yeah, whatever, however you want to do it. Whatever 14th person you want to pick, 14 viewer, 14 common, whatever you want. You get that information. I'm gonna send you Monday bundle of gas station sushi. You could give it to them as for being here. Because
Okay.
they deserve something, you go, because my eyes are fucking killing me looking at your fucking face. Are you standing up, you go?
Shut up. Okay, you know what? We're gonna do something right now. Uh let me see. We're gonna
Yeah,
do
we'll do something.
we're gonna do something right
Yeah,
now.
whatever you figure it out.
Okay, right now, everybody type in the hashtag SP1014, and we're gonna select a person right now, and then we'll give it to that person. Okay,
Yeah,
so
whatever, however you want to do it. Just
let's
let
see.
me know. I'll say, call me. You go Monday after 12, call me. Don't send me, them freaking text messages like little girl.
Let's wait a little bit. Everybody who's interested in the giveaway, type in hashtag
Yeah.
SP1014, and you guys
Do
are
it
gonna
now.
Yeah.
um while they do that, Randall, do you have any questions for our guest? I think that you're one of the ones that you're not really very experienced with the 1014 line, right? Is there anything that you wanna?
No, I will say I did enjoy this one though, the silver. I'm excited to try some of the other ones. I have tried the red. I really enjoy the red, but I got to try more of them. I do have a 2025 India I have to try.
The
Yeah.
India, he gave us the
Don't
India.
smoke it
It's
like you go outside.
that don't what?
Don't smoke it in the backyard like you go with the fucking all pesticides. His cousins are spraying all the pesticides in the grass and shit.
This is the best smoking environment right here, man. It's my little dungeon. It's my exclusivo Hugo Smoke
Hmm.
smoking lounge, man. What are you talking
I know,
about?
I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. But your
This
cousins are spraying that fucking pesticides in the grass.
I have a question for you. When did you originally? Okay, I know that your cigars have always been like MSRP and all that, right? But when did you decide to officially say like, hey, uh, this is uh, this is the project kill the industry? When was that officially said by you?
So, there was a blog. Actually, they still on it. It's called, oh my God, Erica and Amy. I trained them, and they had they used to do blog, right? And a lot of times I go on, and it was called TLE Podcast. If you look at it, so every time we go on, a lot of people would ask me question, why the cigar prices are going up? Why this cigar? And I simply said it on that blog. I said it's a greed, you know. And I said, you know what? Fuck it. We're gonna re-revise all our cigars, and we're gonna prove a point that you could do a great cigar. First revised the SP Red, and that was 6 years. I said it 6 years prior to it. It took us almost 6 years to put the cigar in the market. So it
Yeah.
was a TLE podcast. If you Google TLE podcast, as we're talking about, and that's when I said it. I said, you know what? And they're like, what are you going to call it? I said, fuck it. I'm going to call it Project Kill the Industry. And that's
Okay.
how that name, Kill the Industry. And then what was better name a cigar, Industry Killer, for $6. So, that's how all that started. So all our names, everything, even our, barcodes have meanings to it. I don't do anything, every single thing, including from barcode to packaging has some sort of meaning. If it don't have meaning, I don't bother with it.
Yeah, I like that. That's really cool.
Like ours, yeah, RS88, SB1014, Industry Kill, they all have meaning to it.
That's awesome because that's you're the brand owner, so that's like I'm putting myself in your shoes. It's like an extension of your person, right? So you want it to be
Yeah.
significant in a way, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So every single cigars, everything we do, has meaning. Like RSA, the industry killer, that's the project killed the industry. SP Red, SP Black, we had it, so we kept it.
Right.
Charisma. Then we launched the RS88. People constantly ask me, what is RS88? RS88 is actually the RS88 blends were actually blended by me and Rula. And R is for Rula, S is for Sanj. 88 is our red. SP Red is called Love and Passion. And a Chinese calendar, Love and Passion number is 88.
Oh, really? I didn't
That's
know that.
cool.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
I
pretty.
didn't either.
That's
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah, and then
So
even the
Antra's my
yeah,
daughter's
yeah, Antra's your late daughter's name. Yeah, exactly. Which
name.
I think everybody that saw my review, you know, they pretty much got the history behind that, which is pretty cool. So somebody
Hmm.
had a question about the naming of a specific cigar, the butt plug. I know where that name came from, but you want to explain where that very unique name came from?
So uh, last
And
year,
guys,
last
get your
January
hashtag in.
14.
Yeah,
So last January 14, with what we started was our year anniversary of online business. So, Rob was always, I always tease him, right? So, I said, what the hell? You come up here with this attitude like you got something in up your ass, right? I said, you know what? We're gonna come out with a cigar called Butt Plug. We're not gonna sell it, but we're gonna do anniversary appreciation thing. So, my favorite SP Black is the 754 size, and the red is Lancero. So at the time we didn't have enough Lancero to do it. So I said, let's do. We had an SB Black. So I said, look, anybody buys two SB Black 5 packs, you're gonna give them 5 butt plugs free. And believe it or not, the butt plug came so popular, so many people want it, and I said we may think about it, and people want me to bring even Oreos Tell we did that was for the Dogs Inc. for veterans. They give dogs. So actually, the Oreos Tell came so popular that we relaunching the Oreos Tell within a couple weeks. And that 100% money is going to go to like animal charity. 50% of profit we're going to give it to Dogs Inc. Then
yeah,
local shelter for animal in my town, that we always support them, and they struggle with like food and simple things like that. So that money's going to go there. So that's what we you know do. Yeah,
yeah. That
giving
was
back.
actually
Yeah, that's the audience there.
that was gonna be my
Yeah, yeah,
second
I see
cigar
it.
because the Maduro is my
Yeah,
favorite of the Oreos,
yeah,
followed by
yeah.
Connecticut and then
So
Habano, I think, or one of those two.
yeah, yeah. So this time we're making Maduro and Connecticut only. So we're making 20,000 cigars. 13,000 we're making Maduro and 7,000 Connecticut. They're all going to be packs of 10, $70, $7 a cigar. And even you see that pigtail, the Oreo
Yeah,
style you have in your hand.
yeah,
Look at it. It's triple cap. It's triple cap with the pigtail.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's the triple cap. Yeah, and then it has a pigtail,
Yeah,
and then it has a
yeah.
but
So, and look, squeeze that cigar.
no, it's
No hollow spot.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty stiff. Yeah,
Do it.
Just like a butt
Break
plug should
that.
be.
Break that tail off. Break that tail off. Just remove the tail. Don't cut it. Just remove it. Pull on it. Take a draw on it. Take a draw. Guarantee a perfect draw. Go
yeah, it has a
ahead.
nice draw.
Dry
It has
pull
a
it.
nice draw. Yeah,
Look. Now look at the front. It's
it's
close
close
foot.
foot. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's
See?
great. All right, so we have 15 entries. All right, so we're gonna close it off now, and we're gonna run the giveaway. So here we go. We got 15
Yeah.
entries. Here we go. hologram. So hologram gets what is it? A pack of gas station seasoning.
Absolutely. Yes,
All right.
hologram. Thank you, brother. Thank you all for joining. Thank you for your time. Check out shouldismokethis.com. Unfollow Hugo Smokes. Follow SP1014 Cigars. And, what can I say?
All right, guys. Thank you, the chat for coming in, and
Good
thank you,
night.
Sanj, for coming on. See you guys on the next one.
Of
Thank you,
course.
Sanj. Thanks,
My
guys.
pleasure, brother. Good night. God bless.